Who's ready? Who's ready? How is everyone? I hope you're doing awesome. I hope you're ready for this. Turn down my mic a little bit. I think it's gonna peak out if I don't turn it down. Wow, it's really picking up tonight. There we go. I don't want it to peak out when I sing later, so I may have to adjust that a little bit. But there we go. I hope I sound great. I hope you can hear me. How's the music level? Most importantly, how are you guys? Happy Thursday! Happy Friday for me. But, you know, so I act like it's Friday. It's Friday somewhere. Well, yeah, probably. It's probably Friday. What, in Australia, Japan, right? So it's Friday. We're good. We're good. How is everyone? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Michigan. Heirloom, Jeffafa. Who else we got here? Turtle! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, early birds. So who's gonna be singing tonight? Heirloom's gonna sing, right? And Michigan's gonna sing, right? And Jeff probably will sing. I imagine Jeff will probably sing for us. Yeah, probably. No, fellow. Darn. Yeah, I bet you're good. Bet you're good. Make sure to turn off the echo cancellation settings in Discord. Ooh. Like on individuals or mine? Because I don't know if I ever had that problem in mine. Have a good stream! Welcome, Dragon Chris! Are you here? Are you here? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mirla. Whoa! There's a there's a Godzilla in stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Are you here to sing tonight as well? Whoever's gonna sing, yeah. Nope, saving my voice for my concert later. Oh, jeez. Michigan! Come on now. Come on. I mean, anybody can sing Tequila. We've had that. We've witnessed that. We've seen Tequila done on stream before. Not a big singer. I mean, somebody can sing Soft Kitty, Warm Kitty, right? Or This Is the Song That Never Ends. No, please don't. Please don't. But you get the idea. There's something for everybody. Karaoke to me is not about how good you sing, but it's about having a good time, just getting out there, getting a little bit past your comfort zone just so that you have that big smile and the blush marks on your face, you know? Because that's what it does for me anyway. This is the song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friend. I mean, you guys can spam that in chat like over and over. That would be hilarious. So, just say. It would be a good one. Oh, nobody called the Pokemon. Nobody called the ice cream. Ice cream is on my mind. So, yeah. Let me see if you guys are in Discord and getting ready. Oh, look at you guys. You're all getting ready and waiting. Yay! Look at you guys. Rain's getting them all lined up. Let's see. Thank you so much, Lady Rain. Thank you, thank you, thank you if you're listening. Alright, I had to answer some people's questions in Discord that are getting ready. Have a great stream. Thank you, Mitch Monstrosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, I am going to switch over to Discord for a second. Let's see who wants to go first. We're going to be jumping in and out of the live chat and then into a separate live chat, just so that we only have one person talking at a time tonight. I don't want, or we're singing at a time tonight. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We got this. We got this. All right. So. Alright, I'm gonna jump in. Let's go. See what I get myself into.
Karaoke night.
Well, I just
Hi!
pulled. I just
Welcome!
pulled you both in. So.
We're live.
We all know.
Who's going first?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I got a hard drive. I'm
Not
not saying
me,
anything.
because
I'm
I
just
have a
saying,
song for her.
I'm gonna
Not-
say host should lead.
Oh gosh, hosted lead? I'm gonna head to bed before we get to stream. Thank you, Erla. Oh, I hear myself. Somebody's got some serious echo going on. Yeah.
Oh crap.
yeah,
I think it's a couple of you, actually.
it might be Jeff and
I don't know.
I blame Parker.
Jeff's
I'm wearing
breathing.
headphones, so it's
Jeff's
not me.
breathing on the
Okay.
mic. I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
Parker and Tank who have the echoes. So if you guys can
Okay.
work it out before we go. But yeah, if you guys want me to go first, I'll go first. Unless one of you is just eager to sing first.
I do hear a slight echo from Jeff.
Mm-hmm. Nighty night, dear love. Yeah, good night, dear love.
Fuck, what am I doing over here? Oh,
Mm.
this way.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm playing a different thing. Playing a
Ooh.
game.
Ooh. Alright, moving this around, moving stuff around because I can't share all my screens with everybody. I can't be doing that. Okay. Alright, I'll go first. And Rain, if you'll let me know who's going next after I go, like in chat, that would be awesome. I'll let you get all the ducks in the row. Splints, you're going, right? You're gonna do a duo, right? You're gonna sing with me? And we'll just sing the same words at the same time, just loud and clear, and just go? Yeah, maybe? Michigan, you're gonna sing tequila, right?
If I get enough tequila.
I hear that now. Yeah,
Oh,
I
is
hear
someone going to sing Turn Down for What?
that. Alright, I'm jumping into the other channel, and I will be back, guys. I will be back. And I did give Kramer the role, but I don't know if he knows that yet, so...
I've asked him to join again in waiting room so we can tell him.
There he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kramer.
Alright,
Hey.
I'm jumping into the other channel, though. I'll be back. Alright, guys. Let's do this. I'm not ready for this. I'm gonna be a little cheeky cheesy. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it tonight. We're gonna do some, stuff, so... Alright, here goes. I'm gonna turn off my Spotify. We don't need two different musics playing at the same time. I'm totally not ready for this. Totally not at all. Wonder if it'd be easier if I don't look at chat while I sing. Just kidding. Like, if I don't look at it. Do you guys want to see the words? I mean, I guess I don't have to share my screen unless you just want to see it. But all right, I don't know. You may want to sing along. Maybe I should show the words so you could sing along. How's that sound? I'll do that. Let's see. Split desktop, please. Go to gaming. And I think the first thing I'm gonna have to do is move my face. And then we're going to find the setting I need really quickly. There it is. Alright, this is what we're doing. I had 5 minutes to pick 2 songs, okay, before I hit the go live button. So you guys, yeah, I had 5 minutes to pick 2 songs. This is one of the ones I picked. I saw it right off the bat and I was like, yep, I'm sure I've sung that a few times, so we're gonna do it. And I hope you guys like it. Wish me luck, wish me luck. Here we go. We were good, we were gold. kind of dream that can't be sold. We were right till we weren't. Built a home and watched it burn. I didn't wanna leave you, I didn't wanna lie. Started to cry, but then I remembered I can buy myself flowers. I can write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours. Say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing. I can hold my own hand. I can love me better than you can. I can love me better. I can love me better, baby. I can love me better. I can love me better, baby. Paint my nails cherry red. Match the roses that you left. No remorse, no regrets. I forgive every word you said. Ooh, I didn't wanna leave you, baby. I didn't wanna fight. Started to cry, but then I remembered I can buy myself flowers. I write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours, yeah. Say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing, yeah. I can hold my own hand, yeah. I can love me better than you can. Love me better, I can love me better, baby. I can love me better, I can love me better, baby. Can love me better, I can love me better, baby. Can love me better. I didn't wanna leave you, I didn't wanna fight. Started to cry and then remembered I can buy myself flowers. Write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours, yeah. Say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing, yeah. I can hold my own hand. I can love me better than, yeah. I can love me better than you can. I can love me better, baby. I can love me better, baby. I can love me better, better, baby. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed that first song by me. I wonder who's next. I wonder who's next. I can't say stay, but I hope everyone has fun and good luck to you all. You sound great, Mono. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm super nervous. First song, didn't have, like I said, time to warm up or pick songs or anything. So I just ran for it. I was like, karaoke songs with lyrics, please. And that was like the first one that popped up. And it's like, yep, that works. Next. Okay, that one's next. That one's great. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed. I think it was fun. I like it. It was actually, you know, an easier song to sing, let's be real. So that's what I wanted. But yeah, Jeff, are you up? Are you singing next? Is that why I see you? And Sixer, thank you so much for the retweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And oh, I just, yeah. Are you gonna sing first, Jeff? Come on, Jeff. Come on. All right, I'm gonna find out who's gonna sing and jump in my live with me because I'm gonna bring somebody over. There we go. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna kidnap somebody. I'm just gonna drag somebody over here. There we go. Oops. Hi, Jeff.
I'll go next.
I just kidnapped you. I saw you as the first emote that popped up. And I know it's really hard for everybody to get started, and it's still kind of early. But I think once people start singing, usually then I get like lots of people wanting to sing. So it's, you know, it's always being that first person. Are you going to project your song in Discord and me share it that way, or?
Yeah, but let's make sure that it works first.
Okay.
I have to turn the stream down because I can't mute the site because I need YouTube.
Going to
Okay,
eject
so-
this and move you over. Jeff gets prepared. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you. This has been a really fun fundraiser. And I'm glad I did this again this year. This is 5 years, guys. 5 years I've been supporting St. Jude and doing streams every May. And thank you for helping me do these. I appreciate it.
Oh wait.
Sudowoodo appeared. Catch Sudowoodo, guys. I also hear myself a little bit, so you may hear yourself like echo when you start to sing. You may hear yourself on stream and on here.
No, I turned the stream down. I muted it. I just said.
Oh, really? I wonder where I can still hear it.
You can hear it?
Yeah, I can hear myself.
If you can hear it, it is definitely not me.
Well, there's only us here.
I have your stream muted.
Oh, that is so weird. It's probably that something. We'll blame Discord. How's that sound? Just let me know when you're.
Do you have my stream up
No.
in Discord?
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay.
But it's
So you can
muted, I think.
No, it's paused.
Oh, paused.
Can you hear it?
Run.
No. I should watch it.
Yeah, that would help. That's what I was asking.
I didn't hit the button. I didn't hit the watch button, so. Oh my god, I gotta unmute it too. Yeah, run away, Michigan, run. You get the cookies. Oh my god, I can see myself.
That might be the cause of the echo.
Maybe. There, and then I can give some cookies to Michigan because he got the hugs and chat. Let's add. Chat is now a cat, apparently. Congrats on your cookies, Michigan. To boot people out of hiding. Oh, no, I boot myself. Licked. Nope. Alright, let me know when you're ready, man.
I was waiting for you.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Nope. I cannot.
Well, that's a problem then.
Is it muted? No? Three volumes all the way up for me. And let me check. I mean, you should have permissions if anybody should, because you're a mod. But
You are watching the stream, right?
mm-hmm.
In Discord?
Yup. See. Let's see. I see Cat Inception.
No, stop it.
The never-ending cats, more and more and more and more. Dang it! You took away my cat inception. Like, hide in this hole right here. No, it's gone. Gone forever. Hmm. So what do you think it is? You're the technical master. We need to try a different Discord channel. Yeah. How is everyone? I hope you're doing awesome. There we go. Let's see if it does. Please have some. Oh, are you using Chrome by chance versus Firefox or something?
I have Chrome, yes.
That's the problem.
Why is
Copy
it a
your
problem?
URL to Firefox.
I don't have Firefox.
Do you have any other browsing software other than Chrome?
Chrome.
Chrome will not project sound in Discord.
Why not?
It
Since
doesn't
when?
do videos. Like, because DMCA stuff, a lot of times it won't.
Oh, I didn't know that. That would explain why it didn't work on Jammy's stream.
Yep.
Alright.
That's probably it.
I gotta. What do you mean, probably? That's not. That doesn't
Well, let's just say if you're in Discord with friends and you want to watch anime, you can't use Chrome.
Alright, let's try Explorer. I mean, Edge, whatever it is.
Yeah.
What's the website? YouTube.
You just copy and paste your from one web browser to the next. Monkey.
Well, I exited out of that accidentally.
Oh no!
Okay, before you record,
Change screens.
yeah, before you change screens, make sure that you can hear it this time, because you couldn't hear it before. Wait, I actually have to change. Wait. Also, should I share the screen or the application?
I think you have to share the application.
Okay.
That might have been part of it too.
No, I was sharing the application first, and I switched it.
Oh, were you? Oh, you switched to the desktop. That, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, try that.
No, oh gosh, I keep clicking the wrong things. I'm too tired for this.
The echo's gone too.
Okay. You're in it?
Yep.
you hear it?
And nope. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, so weird.
Okay, I quit.
Do you want me to play it and try to sync it with your voice? Oh, he ran away. That's a no. Poor Jeff. Jeff, I hope you feel better. Insane Peace, welcome! That's an interesting name. Insane and then Peace. Lots of peace. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing awesome. Alright, who's up next? Let me go jump in the other room.
As well as have
Hi,
the ability to sing.
I'm back.
Hey, Cat, I have
No, no.
2 browsers up just in case.
Okay, so you're ready to go. You're gonna try it out, and you're gonna jump over there with me? Alright, let's
Yeah.
go. Hi! Oh, I gotta give you the roll, I think. Ah ha ha. Let's see. Da 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 da. And then I got to move. But yeah, welcome to the stream, peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright, man.
Do
Should
you
be able to
mind
hear
if I test something real quick to see if
Go for it. Go for it. Test it. Whatever you need to do.
Brave browser pops up? Because I am not going through what Jeff went through. Ugh.
It's all good. It happens to all of us. Technical difficulties happen.
I have 2 more songs, which I'll sing way later. So, if need be. So.
Let's see.
1440. 5T. I'm not going to sing until you can see and hear everything. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to make sure there's no watch my language, but fuck up.
Watch and volume and
Do you need me to play to do the test?
yes, I need you to hit play so we know whether there's sound or not. There's definitely sound.
Did it work?
100% works.
Good. Thanks. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure no hoops were broken.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not sure what's causing it, so it's random. You know how computers are.
Oh yeah, that. Okay. I'm gonna do numb like you've never heard before.
Okay, let's do it then. I'm excited. Let's go for it.
Because nobody can beat Chester. Nobody. Feeling so faithless under the curve. Don't know what you're expecting of me. Under pressure of walking in your shoes. Oh, did I take a knife to you? Like a little you dance, I'm so much more aware of it all I want to do, more like be evidence like you. And he was bothering me, holding so tightly, lose control, the thing that you thought I would be, falling apart. Right in front of you. Coming at you, That's all. 1, 2, 3, 4, like candy left from the skies. Come go down. Come go down. I know that sounded stupid, but I had to do it because there's no way in hell that I could sound like Chester. So that was all around failure, but I could never sound like Chester.
I want to say that was an A+ for your creativity, and I really loved how you kept switching gears from like trying to sing it, you know, kind of like Chester, and then going into the other part doing, you know, that heavy, I guess heavy metal kind of sound, you know, you're doing with your voice.
It's a talent singing from the south of Asia, where I try to sing two notes at the same time.
I love that. I love that though. That's so good though. It was like that that grungy sound to your voice. That was fun. I love that. I give you A+ for creativity on that, man. And Nico Dash, welcome to the stream. Welcome. But yeah, let's switch over to the other channel, see if anybody else wants to go at it tonight. And we'll go from there, see who's up next on this karaoke stream. But welcome, artist. Welcome. Are you going to sing for us tonight? I know, I think I'm going to pass tonight. I'm having some shortness of breath today. Oh no, that's no bueno. I hope you get to feeling better. Oh, Murkrow, guys. If you want to catch the Murkrow in chat, go for it. Poke catch, Murkrow. Also, I think Tank next. Okay, sweet. Thank you. Man, Lady Rain just missed it because I just caught it. Alright, we're gonna grab Tank. Welcome, Tank. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're ready. Oh, I gotta give you the rolls. Hold on. Gonna be like, I can't talk. Nope, it's not on at all. It's off. Welcome, Thor! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the 27 months. Thank you, Thor. Thank you. Welcome. Are you gonna sing for us, Thor? Are you gonna sing tonight? Are you gonna sing? But thank you. I told Rose she could come sing if she wants to. Thor should toast sing. Okay, Tank, here you are. I got you in the right channel and the right roles. If you want to test it out and see if we can hear your video, you ain't singing. You're not gonna sing Tequila or The Song That Never Ends or Hello Soft Kitty. That's what I keep throwing at people tonight.
Crossing the bar sounded pretty good to me.
Lemon! Hi, Lemon! Welcome. Thank you so much for the sub, Lemon. You're awesome. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. You got a heart cookie just like Michigan. You and Michigan have heart cookies. And Thor has the minty one. Tank, you sound good, so let's see if you're
about the right volume level.
Yeah. I can totally adjust your volume up and down as needed. So once you get your music projected.
But let me see if I can figure this out here.
Splits, thank you so much. You guys just started a hype train.
Alright. How do I project the music? Is the next question.
Do you have a video with lyrics that you're trying to display from YouTube?
I can.
That's the best way to do it. The best way to do it is like to grab a YouTube link and project that into the stream. And then just make sure it's something that it doesn't have the voice. So I would search karaoke song with lyrics. That way you don't get the voices with it. You just get the music.
Or I could possibly mute YouTube.
Yeah. Wheelchair. Jump! Migs! Oh my gosh, welcome Migs! Welcome to the stream! But yes, Splints, Lemon, Thor, thank you so much for those subs. Migs, welcome. Are you gonna sing with us tonight, Migs? Hey yo! All you need is a YouTube link with some music and
Let's see
lyrics.
here.
That's all you need, Megs. Then you can come sing for us.
Okay, this should work. Because I know the tune.
But yeah.
But it's definitely not the version I want. I wanted the one
Well,
by
take your
Longest
time,
Johns, but I'm trying to find them.
If you want to take a hot second, I can run and grab a drink while you get yourself set up.
Oh.
And find the right
Probably
song.
won't be too long.
Okay. It'll take me like 30 seconds. So I'll be back.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna let him practice and get set up real quick. Turtle! 2 subs to the community. Thank you so much. Adult juice tonight, we are. Thank you for gifting 2 subs to the channel to Freckles and 80. Thank you. Thank you. You completed the level 1 hype train, guys. Level 1. That means everybody that contributed is gonna get an emote. But I will be right back. I'm gonna grab one of those Simply Juice things. You haven't seen these, they're really good. So hold on a second. Yeah, I got Simply Juiced spiked strawberry peach. So yeah, I am having adult juice tonight, artist. Oh, that was probably really loud. That was probably super loud. They were really good. Hi, Batman. Welcome to the stream. You look all comfy, cozy. You here to hear us sing like cats on a hot tin roof tonight? Welcome to the karaoke stream, man. Welcome. When I start drinking again, I'll have to try them. Understandable. Alright, let me get Tank in here. See if he's ready to project his song. Hi, Tank. Did you figure out how to project your image yet and test it?
Still trying to find a lyric video for this particular version.
Oh.
So,
Well, if somebody else is ready and you want to give yourself another hot minute, we can let somebody else go while we wait.
let me see.
Unless you think.
I could probably do it by ear if I set it up outside the computer. But I don't know if that would pick
Just
up or
stopping by to say hi. I'm modding for my baby sister's stream. Aw, that's so sweet of you. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming by to say hi. Thank you.
Okay.
I hope you have a wonderful evening. You're so nice about it. What am I so nice about, artist? Hype. Yeah, we need all the hype and liquid courage and chat.
Okay? Yes, that might get it.
Hype. There we go. But yeah, guys, use YouTube and just Google karaoke songs and lyrics, and then because that way it just has the music and the words for you, and you can just display it in Discord. That's how it works. That's the easiest way.
All right, I got it. You ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Go for it. Migs, thank you for the loves, man. Can I get a shout out to Migs in chat? You know what? I'll do it. My mod is super busy.
See if this comes up with any lyrics. Nope. I'm gonna have to go something else.
You're so nice about being like.
This ought to do it.
Artist.
Tempo, but we're gonna go over it anyway.
Thanks for the lurk, Batman.
Evening star
No! Yes.
is one clear call
Okay.
for me. And may there be no morning of the bar when I put out to sea. When I put out to sea. When I put out to sea. And may there be no morning of the bar when I put out to sea. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I am back. When I am back, when I am back. And may there be no
Wow, is Turtle gifted a tier
sadness
1
of
sub to Dash Ketchum
farewell
Gaming.
when I am back. Interlude.
Alright, brother.
Hang on a sec.
Wow, is Turtle gifted a tier 1 sub to Miss Mind Icons.
There are more verses, but such a tide as moving seems
Hello, everyone.
asleep, too full for sound and form. When that which drew from out the boundless deep turns again home, turns again home, turns again home. When that which drew from out the boundless deep turns again home. For lo from out our bourne of time and place, the flood may bear me far. I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. When I have crossed the bar, when I have crossed the bar, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. When I have crossed the bar, when I have crossed the bar, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. I think that's it. Much better in karaoke, admittedly, but I like it a cappella better. That's all.
You did good, Tank. Thank you so much. Thank you for singing for us and joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right.
Have to go.
Let's switch people around. Thank you. But yeah, hi, welcome everyone. Gosh, Hype Train level 3. You guys have been busy. Let me catch up here. We had all the subs. Oh, thank you for the follow, Retro. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me look. It says Retron John? Retron, I think? I hope I said it right. Words are hard. But hi, thank you, Turtle. Thank you so much for gifting us up to Dash and Miss Mindykins. And thank you, Kraken, so much for the 62 months. Holy cow. Wow. I found it when I was running my fingers through my hair. Oh no! Super busy. Oof. Words are hard. Yes, words are very hard. Okay. So, who's next? Or is it my turn? Cause I could really troll some people right now. Just saying. I can do a song until everybody else is ready again. Let's see. You guys might not like it though. You might not like it. It might sound like a.
Fuzzy Memoro shared. X100.
Thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Momo. Come sing with us, Momo. Come on, come on, come on. Momo sings beautifully, by the way, guys. She has a beautiful voice. She has so much more tonal range than I do. You don't want people's ears to bleed because you have a bad voice. I mean, anybody can sing Tequila. How do we sign up? Lemon Drop, you are signed up. Just jump in chat and wait, and if you are ready now, let me know. All I need you to do is have your YouTube video ready so that you can, just a karaoke one with lyrics, no voices, just music, please. And then you just, Discord share your screen and sing. That's all. So if you guys are ready. Thank you guys so much for the level 2 hype train. Oh, a Ponyta. Poketch. And scene. Oh, and you have to turn that special setting off in your Discord, the echo, depression, all the setting thingamajigs, so that it doesn't, your voice doesn't get muted by Discord, basically. The suppression stuff, you gotta turn it off. Michigan's next! Sweet! Michigan's gonna sing! Oh my gosh, come on, Michigan! I'm excited, I'm excited! Let's do this. Okay, sweet. Echo cancellation, yeah, that thing. Let me make sure I get on the live roll here. And, okay, so we have Michigan tonight. Alright, Michigan, welcome to the stream!
Yo. Hold on, I'm trying to find the right one. That one had like a background lyric.
Dying rat, dying cats, you know, we all sound the same. It's okay, artists. It's all good. But thank you, Momo. And Lemon, sure, jump in chat with Lady Rain and we'll get you in order. She's doing the numbers and telling me who's not. Oh wait, dying bat cat? Yes. Michigan, you'll just need to share your screen with the
Oh yeah. I just had to make sure.
all that good stuff.
Words.
Yeah, just preferably if you get one that's the lyrics. If you type you know, karaoke song lyrics and the name of the song you're looking for, it'll pop up.
Somebody search.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I can hear myself. I have to mute my stream. Testing. No, I can hear me. There, I'm gonna have to mute myself in Discord so you don't hear my echo. Her Kraken is singing about Baby Shark. Yes, Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark. Baby Shark, do 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 do. Dying Bat Cat. That's her ship name. Yeah. Bat Cat. Or yeah. Something like that. Artist cat. I don't know. Not me. Let's see. Ships. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Yeah, Michigan, if you just hit that green share screen button. Oh, you're already doing that.
Hold on, I'm doing the wrong thing. Hold on.
You just gotta go to your web browser now.
I had it just fine, and then all of a sudden just went.
But yeah, I keep muting myself for a minute until he gets all set up. Bat cat, cat bat, artist cat, Echo, echo. Yes, that's why I have to keep muting myself for a second because he's got my stream playing. He's gonna have to fix that before he starts singing, though, or we're gonna hear him twice. He's got my stream playing on his web browser. In his Chrome. Or Firefox. Yeah, welcome. What are you guys up to? Catmate?
Are we good?
Is that like
Guess I'll just use
Papermate?
this one.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to mute my stream.
I don't have your stream.
Because as soon as maybe. Why is it doing that?
I literally do not have your stream up.
Okay. All right. Well, you can go ahead and play your. How are you doing it? Are you doing like Inception?
Oh, what?
No. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear this right here? Oh shit.
Mm-hmm. You're
That's
projecting
not
Discord, not.
Yeah, hold on. I found the right
not
one,
the
and then
music.
when I quit it, it lost it.
So yeah, quit this one. Here, I'll stop watching it. And then he can project the other one. That's why we hear me twice. It's because you're projecting Discord. Oh.
How?
You just gotta cancel your screen projection. Hit the green button and cancel it, and then make sure you're projecting your web browser. Thanks for the kind words, Momo. Sorry, in the middle of a match. And no problem, no words, not music. It's hard to type everything Komodo is saying. Echo. You were trying to type as fast as I'm talking? That is gonna be hard. Oh my god, you got the blue heart cookie with the face. I liked seeing the different cookies. Lady Rain designed this for me, by the way. She designed my sub badges. She did a good job. But yeah, just hit the green button, and then when you pick what to share, pick your web browser.
Alright, I found the right one. Jesus. I had to find the right one that didn't have background noise, or background lyrics.
Oh, okay, so that's what you're doing.
I had the right one, but it just...
It's hard to type everything Komodo was saying.
That
Don't do
should
it!
be good.
Thanks for the sub the other day, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff is awesome.
So I just play it, and you'll have the thing...
Play it for a split second and stop it. Let's just make sure we can hear it. Okay. Yeah, we can hear it. Okay. So now get it back to the point you want to start, or you can just start singing.
Okay, right here. Alright.
Alright.
Okay,
We're ready.
Yep. What would you do if I sang out of tune? What would you stand up and walk out on me? Lean me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll tell not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. What do I do when my love is always away? How do I feel? How do I feel by the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? No, I get by with a little help from my Beatles. So I get help, a little help from my Beatles. Try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody to love? Alright, yeah. John's just helping me from the Beatles. I want somebody to love. Yes. Yes, I'm certain that it's happening all the time. can't tell you, but I know it's mine. Ooh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends.
Do you need anybody?
Just need someone to love.
Could it be anybody?
Want somebody to love. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Get high with a little help from my friends. Yes, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Little help from my friends.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. You did so good. I
Oh,
wanted to
that was
sing with
good.
you. I was like, he might not want me to sing with him, so I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna jump in and sing with you though.
Alright, I'm gonna go drink my
You
Alright,
did great though. I'm so happy. That made my day. Thank you so much for doing that.
yeah.
All right, you can run away.
Alright, good.
Who's next? Let's see. Let me see who is next. Let's see. Let's go, Lemon! I'm so excited. Hi, welcome, Lemon. Welcome to the stream.
Hello. Where are you? Oh.
Right here?
Yep, I see you now. I was still in the other chat. Do I send you my link here?
You share your screen. So I don't have to share it with everybody if you don't want, but
You need to turn
you share the music. You share the music by sharing your music screen. Like if you're playing YouTube, you share YouTube.
Gotcha. Okay, hold on. Share my screen. Oh gosh, Remus. Hello. Sorry. Remus wants to perform as well.
Remus would be good. Remus would be so good. All right, now we got Lemon here, guys.
All right.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's make sure we
why
can
is it doing
hear
this?
it.
Oh god, I'm not ready. Hold on. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Let's make sure we can hear the stream. Hit play. Nope. I cannot hear it. You're gonna have to make sure you're sharing the web browser, I guess, versus the desktop, or the desktop versus. Nope, there it is. I can hear it. Never mind.
Can you hear
Never
it
mind.
now?
It's working. Oh yeah.
It
I
was
don't know
just a
why it
long
was.
intro.
Okay, it's just a long, quiet intro.
All
All right, I'm gonna give you the floor.
All right, I lost a bet with Thor. I rolled a low performance roll, so hence the
And if you
rapping.
want to full screen that, so we don't have to see everything,
Oh.
you can. Like
Theater
hit the
mode?
little square with the dots. Yeah, there you go. That works.
All right, here we go. If I start laughing, I apologize. Thor's next to me, so.
Thor, be nice to Lemon.
All right, here we
Welcome,
go.
baby.
This here's a tale for all the fellas trying to do what those ladies tell us. Get shot down cause you're overzealous. Play hard to get females, get jealous. Okay, party, go to a party. Girls are scantily clad and show a body. Chick walks by, you wish you could sex her, but you're standing on the wall like you was Poindexter. Backstage function, high class luncheon. Food is served and you're stone cold munching. Music comes on, people start to dance, but then you ate so much you nearly split your pants. A girl starts walking, guy starts gawking, sits down next to you and starts sucking. Says she wants to dance to a different different groove. So come on, Fatso, just bust a move. You want it, you got it. 'Cause you want it, oh, you got it. You're on a mission and you're wishing someone could cure your lonely condition. Look at the love in all the wrong places. No fine girls, just ugly faces. Some frustration, first inclination is to become a monk and leave the situation. But every dark tunnel has a light of hope, so don't hang yourself with the celibate rope. Your movie's showing, so you're going. Could care less about the fire you're blowing. Theater gets started just to start the show, then you spot a fine woman sitting in your row. She's dressed in yellow, she says hello, come sit next to me, you fine fellow. You run over there without a second to lose, and what comes next? Hey, bust a move. Just bust a move. In this city, ladies look pretty. Guys tell jokes so they can seem witty. Tell a funny joke just to get some play, then you try to make a move and she says no way. Girls are faking, goodness saking. They want a man who brings home the bacon. Got no money and you got no car, then you got no women and there you are. Some girls are sadistic, materialistic, looking for a man makes them opportunistic. Lying on a beach perpetrating the tan so that a brother with a mother can be their man. So on the beach you're strolling, real high rolling. Everything you have is yours and not stolen. Girl runs up with something to prove, so don't just stand there, bust a move. Just bust a move. Break it down for me, fellas. Oh, dance break. Your best friend Harry has a brother Larry. In 5 days from now, he's gonna marry. He's hoping you can make it there if you can, 'cause in the ceremony, you'll be the best man. You say Nito, check your libido, and roll to the church in your new tuxedo. The bride walks down just to start the wedding, and there's one more girl you won't be getting. So you start thinking, then you start blinking. The bridesmaid looks and thinks that you're winking. She thinks you're kinda cute, so she winks back. And I'm feeling really fine, 'cause the girl is stacked. Reception's jumping, bass is pumping. Look at the girl and your heart starts thumping. Says she wants to dance to a different groove. You know what to do till you bust a move. Oh, oops. I was trying to fade it out and it didn't work.
Let's talk about how to teach your dog.
Can
You don't need to
can
teach your
I
dog anyway.
can I just say wow? Oh my gosh. Wow, you did so good. You blew us all out of the water. Like, dang, that was so good. Lemon, thank you so much. Thank you so much for singing.
Let's hop back into the other room here. Let
All
the
right,
next,
hop back in, and the
let
next
them
person
have their turn.
Okay, let me know who's next, Lady Rain. So, yeah. Let me know who's next, and can you do the thing for me, Rain? Oh, what thing? Like roll a dice or something? Are you rolling? Are we really gonna roll dice? I think that was so cool if we do. I feel like my ears are on crooked. I think Splints is next. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Let me go grab Splints. My memory is short. Let me grab Splints. And I think Jeff wants to go again, or try to go again, since we figured it out. We figured out a solution, so we need to get him back in line as well. Let me fix the roll thing. And grab Splints. If my mouse will grab him. There. Hi, Splints. Welcome. Are you ready? Are you gonna sing, or are you gonna just share your screen and sing for us?
In the right channel. Oh, yes, I am. Okay, yes. All right.
Yeah. I already drug you over.
No, not which it needs to be this one. I think it's this one, and I need to pause it immediately so that I can start it over.
I feel like I'm humming that song from Shrek where she makes the birds explode, and I don't know where that came from all of a sudden.
Oh no! Wait, I'm sharing my
And the
screen.
feathers go everywhere. Yes, you are.
Okay.
I just have to make sure that we can hear it, so give it like a 2-second bloop, or just make sure we can hear some volume.
Sure.
That works. I can hear it. Okay.
Cool.
So make sure what is your volume on for it? You got it pretty decently loud? Yeah, you do. Okay,
It's
we're
like
good.
all the way up.
Okay, we should be good. All right, I'm gonna give you the floor, and you can go for it. You can full screen that if you want, like, yeah, with the
Let me trade window
square.
positions. If I go full screen, nobody will be able to see it.
Oh, okay. You can leave it like that if you want.
Nope, that's better.
Oh, that
There
works.
we go.
That's perfect. Okay.
All right,
all right.
You're welcome to join in if you want.
Oh, really? You want me to sing one? I might.
If you
I
want
might sing a little bit,
if
just
you know the
softly.
song.
I don't know that I do.
It's fine. Here we go.
All right.
Ta-da! I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang, he shot me down. Bang, bang, I hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, my baby shot me down. Seasons came and changed the time. When I grew up, I called him mine. He would always laugh and say, remember when we used to play? Bang, bang, I shot you down. Bang, bang, you hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, I used to shoot you down. Music played and people sang. Just for me, the church bells rang. Now he's gone, I don't know why. Until this day, sometimes I cry. He didn't even say goodbye. He didn't take the time to lie. Bang, bang, he shot me down. Bang, bang, I hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, my baby shot me down.
That was so good, Splants. I love it. Thank you so much. Thanks. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. Like, you killed it. You did it. Thank you. Thank you. I like it.
I'll find another one, but
go,
that was
Splants. Fantastic.
first go
yes.
short.
It's my turn. Okay, Jeff. Jeff's turn. When? Okay, and it's Jamie and Momo. Are you lining up? I'm gonna get. No pressure. I want to make sure everybody gets a turn, of course. Let's see. Let me find myself here. Let's grab Jeff. Alright, Jeff, I'm going to grab this link and we're going to do this reverse backwards share thing. And I'm going to try to cue the music into your voice. Let's see. Let's see. So give me a hot second. Oh. And put this over here. I need more monitors. Does anybody else ever feel that way? I think I say that every stream. I need more monitors.
I think I've too many monitors now.
Let's see. Share.
No, I have too many audio outputs. There's too much speaker sources.
Mhm.
No, I'm not kidding.
Then I need a gaming computer. I love. Sing 16 tons of Tennessee. Jeez. I have to recover from jiu-jitsu, but I'll try to pop in. Oh my gosh, you're gonna kick all our butts, Jamie.
This is why I have problems with audio.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Look and you'll understand. In the stream chat. Discord stream chat.
Oh. Output device. Oh, I see. Okay. You can't change it to.
I don't know what to change it to.
This should be your headsets.
Yeah, it was, but I don't know. I don't get it. I hear it through my headset, so I don't know why just an application doesn't come through.
What does default do?
That's my microphone. Oh, the default output?
No, for this one, yeah, for output.
Say something.
Lasting.
Nope.
1, 2, 3. That works for me, but not for you.
Okay, so this song was written by Jeff Mack. He was an
Alright,
Australian
go for it.
aviator, but this is not his version. This is Johnny Cash rendition. Go ahead and play, I guess. Wait, can I hear you? Can I hear your screen? Okay, go ahead. I was toting my pack along the dusty Winnemucca road when along came a semi with a high canvas covered load. If you're going to Winnemucca, Mac, with me you can ride. And so I climbed into the cab and then I settled down inside. Yeah, with you. And I climbed into the cab and then I settled down inside. He asked me if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand, and I said, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Crossed everywhere, man. Breathed mountain air, man. The trouble I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Manitoba, Florida, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Philadelphia, Barranquilla, Armadillo. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Crossed the desert bare, man. Breathe the mountain air, man. Trouble I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Boston, Charleston, Dade, Louisiana, Washington, Houston, Gibson, Texarkana, Monterey, Faraday, Santa Fe, Tallahassee, Little Park, Black Rock, Little Rock, Austin, Tennessee, Chicopee, Spirit Lake, Grand Lake, Devil Lake, Crater Lake, for Pete's sake. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Crossing Elizabeth Fair, man. Breathe mountain air, man. Travel I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Louisville, Nashville, Knoxville, Omaha, Shepherdville, Jacksonville, Waterville, Costa Rica, Pittsfield, Springfield, Bakersfield, Shreveport, Hackensack, Cadillac, Fond du Lac, Davenport, Idaho, Jellicoe, Argentina, Diamantina, Pasadena, Catalina, see what I mean? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Cross the desert is fair, man. Breathe mountain air, man. Trouble I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, Gravelsburg, Colorado, Hildenburg, Rexburg, Vicksburg, El Dorado, Larimore, Atmore, Haverstraw, Chattanooga, Chaska, Nebraska, Alaska, Opelika, Baraboo, Waterloo, Kalamazoo, Kansas City, Sioux City, Cedar City, Dodge City, what up, city? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the desert, bare, man. Breathe the mountain air, man. Double, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere.
So good, you did so good, and I finally got it to line up like right with your voice too, so I did it perfect, which is really hard to do. And you were singing it, you were just like every word. I was like, I can't do it that fast. There's no way. There's no way. But you did so good, Jeff. I'm glad it worked.
Thank you.
Thank you for singing for us. I appreciate it. So let's see how to unshare my screen now. Here we go. There we go. Yay! Okay, so alright, who do we have now? You know? Did Brain tell you who's going next? Let's see. Alright. I heard it was Mono's turn. Oh my gosh. You mean Momo, right? Momo, not Mono, right? Momo? Bye, Jeff.
Hey.
Bye. We need Mono. Oh my gosh. What about Jammy or Momo? Oh my god, I'm calling Momo Mono. There's too many Momos in here. I could if you want. Oh, if you want to get a song ready. So if you want to get a song ready, we can put you next. And then, you know, you have a song ready. All you have to do is hit project. You're all ready to go. But Thor was first. Thor's singing? Ah. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna do this. I hear Thor singing. Should I grab him and pull him out of thin air and let's find out? Thor, are you singing? That's what I hear. Huh?
No, Rain just asked me to roll for initiative, and I rolled a nat 20.
Oh my gosh, so that means you can sing great and you're just gonna like kill it, right?
No, that means I don't have to sing.
Oh, dang. Ah, dang. Ah, we tried. Okay. Michigan's in chat going, sing! He's trying to get you to sing.
Nope. Bye!
Alright, I'll put you back. Okay, so I guess Thor's not singing, and I don't know if Momo's ready. Let's find out. Let me make sure things and stuff. You are ready? Sweet. Okay. Alright, let's pull the lovely Momo over here. If my Discord will let me. There we go. Hi, Momo. Welcome. Do you have your noise suppression and all that off?
Oh shit, no. Good.
Yeah, because you sing beautiful and loud, and it's just gonna like mute you.
It's loud?
Your noise yeah, because Discord's mean.
Yeah.
Thor said he has a sore throat. Poor Thor. What about you, Tex? Tex
I
is
know.
gonna
I heard
sing.
in the group that they were saying Thor, and I was like, oh shit, I don't want to skip a line, so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's basically their whole set up, I think.
Uh-huh.
No,
It's all good. It's all good. They just chicken you.
Really fucking shit.
And
I'm sorry, where is it?
what was this? Settings of voice and video.
It's got so long. Oh, noise suppression, none. Okay, is this better? Hello.
Thor said he's a party pooper. Nah, he's not. It's fine. It's all good.
Noise suppression is off, and then we share the screen.
They're not gonna pressure anybody into singing. If you want to sing, sing. If you don't, don't. I may ask, but I'm not gonna twist your arms or, you know, punish you.
Twist it, do it.
Momo, we know you like to be punished, but we won't talk about that live right now.
I was being chased a lot again today. Yeah.
Oh no. She likes being chased as well.
Oh god.
Just saying. Let's see. Let's pull this over here. Let me grab the right
it's a
screen.
Korean karaoke.
Why are you twisting my
version.
arm,
It's
Cat?
very weird, but
Because you're gonna sing. You're getting the cue, right? You're gonna join us. Alright, let me make sure we can hear it. Play it for like 2 seconds. Make sure I can hear it, Momo.
yes.
Play it for like 2 seconds. Make sure I can hear it, Momo.
There's no sound.
I can hear myself. There we go.
Hearing it?
Yeah, I can hear myself. Do you have my stream playing? Or is it just being weird
Yeah,
again?
it's off now. It's off now.
Okay,
I had it
okay,
on
okay.
to check if you could hear the sound.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear it. Okay, but yeah, go for it. You got the floor.
I haven't seen this song like ever, so bear with me. Today I'm dirty. I want to be pretty. Tomorrow I know I'm just dirt. Today I'm dirty and I want to be pretty. Tomorrow I know I'm just dirt. We're the nobodies. We wanna be somebody. We never know just who we are. We're the nobodies. We wanna be somebody. When we're dead, they'll know just who we are. Today I was dirty, wanted to be pretty. I know now that I'm forever dirt. Yesterday I was dirty, wanted to be pretty. I know now that I'm forever dirt. We're the nobodies. We wanna be somebody. When we're dead, they'll know just who we are. We're the nobodies. We wanna be somebody. When we're dead, they'll know just who we are. Some children died the other day. We fed machines and they would pray. Puked up and down in morbid faith. You should have seen the ratings that day. Some children died the other day. We fed machines and then we prayed. Puked up and down in morbid faith. You should have seen the ratings that day. I don't know this part that well.
my gosh, that was so good. You did so good. Wow.
I can't hear Mono. Mono muted.
Oh. Hold on.
I saw you talking. Couldn't hear you.
Chat can hear me, but you can't. Yeah, chat says your voice is gorgeous. And I 100% agree. Your voice is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Why are you not a professional singer, Momo?
I wouldn't mind being one, but
You sound so good though. I mean, you're so good. Is it true you thought about doing voice acting too?
yeah. Just every time, you try to find out, they're like, "Oh, you want to do this course for $100?" I'm like, "No, I just want to, find."
Oh no.
They're
So you're like,
trying
no,
to
I just want
promote
to
it.
act. I don't.
Yeah, they're just trying to
Want to
promote
pay
their
for a
courses
course.
and trying to get you to do courses and stuff like that. It's weird. But yeah, maybe I should just record some videos or whatnot with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if there's a market on like Fiverr for that kind of stuff to get heard or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I've
'Cause
seen
I nev-
some things like online, but and some TikTokers who do it too, like just recording over known videos. But yeah, maybe something like that someday.
You didn't hear a single word I said after you finished, Jeff. I had myself muted the whole time.
Yeah, you had yourself muted. That's why I said you're muted.
Yeah. I did the same thing to Jeff, but apparently I didn't unmute myself and he didn't hear me. Jeff, you did so good. You were singing so fast and awesome, by the way.
Oh, Jeff Papa.
Yeah, but who's next? Who's next?
Okay. Thank you for the stage and good luck, everyone.
Yes, thank you for singing to us. Thank you, Mama. Much love. Yeah, much love for Momo. She did an amazing job, guys. She did an amazing job. Who's next on the roster? So wait for the beautiful Lady Rain to let us know. In the meantime, it might be a quick time for a really quick trip to the ladies' room because I've drank too much water and these ears sit crooked. I swear, they sit crooked the whole time. Drink water, okay. And this is the reason I have to go to the ladies' room. I drank this whole thing today, right down to here. So yeah, we're gonna do that real quick while we wait for the next person. Stretch break! Yes, thank you so much for the stretch break, Jeff. Thank you. And thank you again for singing. You did so good. I could never sing that fast. I couldn't do it. I'm back. I feel 100 times better, and I realized I left you guys with like dead air and no sound and no voices because I'm a bot. So put it back. I do love fast songs like that. And 1 week, and it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. And a lot of Outcast songs. Nice. All right, guys. Well, did anybody step up to the plate? Let me go find out. Hold on. Let's go see what's going on over here in the party group. Hi, guys. If it jumps over, give it a second. It's thinking about itself. Discord's thinking about itself. We're breaking Discord. Probably. It's like...
Oh, kick
Sorry,
her
I didn't
again.
mean to kick
Hi. Hi.
Okay, there's nobody
You
else
kicked
lined
me.
up. I'll do another song.
Ah! You kicked me. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was your intervention. Now.
I was like, why is Discord taking so long to load? I was like, it broke because I jumped between channels instead of like hanging out before I go to the next one. I just jumped and I was like, it hates that. It was like, why'd you do that? Why'd you make me
You got kicked.
think that hard? But yeah, someone can go next.
I think it's you, Mono.
Ah.
Yeah, you need another one.
It's either you
I probably
or
do.
me. So take a pick.
All right.
You know, do you know Sweet Dreams, Eurythmics?
Sweet
Eurythmics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who am I to disagree?
I was thinking of that one, and then I saw Marilyn Manson. I was like,
That's
yeah.
not bad.
I like
Actually,
that.
the original, I could actually, I could do Marilyn
Let me
Manson
look.
too. That might be fun.
Ooh.
Sweet dreams
are made of. See,
All right,
sweet
Komodo, it's
dreams,
you're next, apparently.
karaoke.
Yeah.
I mean, are we gonna
I
group?
have a song for after you're done.
We can group sing "Sweet Dreams." I don't know.
Is that possible with the delay though?
Okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
You usually have
As
to.
long as we're in the same Discord watching the same video, we'll be okay.
You just kind of like "We Are the World."
Yeah, because it's a group song. Like we are the world.
The world. Okay.
But
if we're in the same Discord watching the same stream,
Yeah,
should be
it's
okay.
okay.
Should be okay.
That, and you know, the streamer's the one that has the vocals they hear. So if you try to tie yourself a little bit close or to the music they hear, so if you try to tie yourself a little bit closer to the streamer, then that's what the. Not to make me the person, but that's what chat hears.
It's all you now.
Good.
Let's go.
I don't want to hear myself ever again.
Are we doing
we
a
even
three-way
like
Eurythmics?
Yeah. Oh no.
That's what she said.
Let's go.
Anyways, this is a good it's for the world, it's for
I'll do
St.
this.
Jude.
Let's sing for
It was just an example because I know it's like a
No,
group
it's
song
perfect.
of many artists. So
It was not a sample; it was the full thing.
Here's one that says no vocals.
Kroger
so
Delivery
let's,
has one
hold
mission.
on,
I said an
just a second.
example.
Gotta mute it till it gets past the dang commercials. There you go.
I had
And
ad
then-
block.
We gotta get you some ad
Ad
blockers.
blockers.
Yeah, that I just
I'll
need to
get my
sub
voice
to
ready.
YouTube, but I haven't done that yet. You're the World Karaoke Africa? Is that the right one?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
I don't know.
Africa. Yeah, it was Africa. Yeah.
Toto?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's the one.
When the rain.
Because you're such a great gem already.
No, it was.
Yeah,
It was
is that what
called
you were
Africa.
thinking?
Jamie is a gem. Desi, welcome to the stream, Desi.
A little Hillary Duff action.
Wake me up.
Oh, that's
oh,
really
oh,
good.
you go,
Wake me
girl.
up inside.
Wake me up.
Okay, this is gonna be some.
Little Evanescence.
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah,
singing
yeah,
now because
yeah.
everybody's
That could be
singing.
a closeout.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of chaos here. It's gonna be fun though. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do a group song.
Oh, it's a group
Let
song.
me share the.
We'll all have to hold hands. Hold on.
Let me share the. Yeah, y'all all get to be a part of this.
I'm not
this
sure
mess.
that I know
I need
like
the words,
anything
'cause I
but
can't.
chord.
Okay, there we go.
I'm doing it. I'm sharing.
This is gonna sound absolutely amazing.
We are the world, though. So
I hope you guys in chat are hopped up on sugar or some nice drinks out there because it's gonna be loud and weird and obnoxious for about a whole. Wow, this song says 6 minutes. Is this song really 6
Oh.
minutes?
6
Oh God.
Damn, this is long. Oh,
This is
good.
not the song I thought we were doing. I thought we were doing that other one.
No,
We
this
might as well
We Are
start
the
singing
World.
Opeth.
We can do Sweet Dreams. I don't care which one we
Yeah,
do.
That's what I thought we were doing. Yeah.
I like the
Okay,
We
okay.
Are the World because everybody's from different parts.
Oh, we should have done the Sweet Child of Mine Step Brothers edition.
Oh no.
Did we?
You know, hold on. I'll put Sweet Dreams in our queue when we come back and maybe we'll do Sweet Dreams as like a
I just-
finale.
Prefer the We Are the World, just because.
Sweet dreams,
I'd rather
Kahoot.
do this than We Are the World. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
We should do Love is an Open Door. That will be fun.
Love no open
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
The Marilyn Manson.
Snowman.
I
Oh, Backstreet Boys!
Did you
I
just
want
hear
it
that?
way!
Backstreet is
I just
what's that one
list
song?
Marilyn
What?
Manson. I
I
said
just did
Marilyn
Oh,
Manson.
no.
The Beautiful People? What?
I just did Marilyn Manson.
Let's do some Slipknot.
Okay.
Let's go.
Alright, we're gonna do this. Your earplugs ready?
See
Yes.
them in a couple weeks. I'm excited.
Alright. I'm gonna.
Excited for Slipknot.
Okay, this is not what I was ready for, but I'll join.
No,
We
you
can
have
You
do
to.
can
duality.
sing. We'll do the other one as a finale. We'll do both of them.
Didn't need it happen.
We Are the
Okay.
World.
Yep.
Am I involved?
Yes.
You're involved, Jess.
Yay! I'm joining. I'm calling. I'm joining.
3, 2,
Oh, shit.
1.
Go.
I don't know how it
One
starts.
It's a time.
Why can't I hear it? Oh,
I
it's
don't
still
know.
muted. Hold on, hold on.
Hold on,
Do it,
practice,
but
practice.
No backing music. I mean, come on now.
I
Dude, I
muted
tried
it.
to help.
You were getting it, Slens.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
I
We are
muted
the-
it.
Take two. Take two.
I'm not even sure.
You
I
can
know
even
the
take a
song.
nap. Have a good nap, Jeff.
Let's do it, guys.
I'll do this, shall we?
I so forgot how
I
it is.
gotta turn it up.
Okay.
Oh, I think I remember.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
I'll
That's
just
good.
follow along.
That's good.
Unmute yourself, Rain.
She's
Everybody,
here.
hold hands.
Here comes the
Comes the time.
And we answer the call.
Oh,
When the world
must
must come
come together as one.
Oh, this is. There are people.
There are
Our
people
people
dying.
dying. Oh, and it's time to lead a hand to
Let the hands
right.
die.
A great gift of all. We can't go on.
Ending my day by day.
Hey, I got it.
There's someone somewhere will make a change.
We're all a part of
God's
God's
great
great
family.
family. And it's true to know love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children.
We
We are the ones who make brighter days. So let's
Brighter day.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. We'll make a better day. You and me.
The sins of your heart,
So
they know that someone cares.
And they're all
And their lives destroy free.
As
God
shown us.
it
I
turns
turn a stone.
red. And so we send
A helping hand.
we are the world.
We are the We are
We are the ones who make the day. So let's start giving. Everybody, start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives.
We'll make a better day, just you and me. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all.
But if
But
you just believe,
there's no way we can fall. Well, well, well.
Oh,
dance
It can only come home
when we
stand together.
stand together as one.
We are the world.
We are the world.
We are
We are
We are the children.
We are the
we are the ones.
Make a brighter day. So let's just start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're
Saving our lives.
It's true.
It's true, we'll make a better day just for you.
We are the world.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives.
Sure, we'll make a better day. Just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we'll make a better day.
You and me. We are the world. We are the children. To make a better day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making.
It's for the children.
We're saving our own lives. It's true. We'll make a better day, just you and me.
We are the ones. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. We are the ones. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day.
There's a choice we're making.
We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me.
You're gonna go again?
Oh God, we are the world. Okay, we get it. You're on a world.
We are the ones who make a better day.
So let's start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. Yeah, that's kind of appropriate for St. Jude. Just saying.
There you go.
It's kind of appropriate. That's kind of appropriate.
I know. In the end, it
This is
was.
what I wanted.
It was horrible.
I know
All
we'll
right.
ever sing, but I will sing
Now
for
that
the
your
kids.
ears are bleeding, we're going to
I'm
jump
saving for the
back
kids.
into individual karaoke, and I believe Splints is up first. So
Oh shit! After that, hold on.
yeah,
It's for the kids. I'm okay, but
Next time we
That's
do
why
this
I did it
like
for the
this,
kids.
everyone's got to have a baton.
all right, here we go. Here we go. I'm ready.
I'm gonna pull you out. Hold on.
What about sunshine?
Welcome,
Right.
Splints. We're back to the peace and serenity of what is Splints' voice, chat.
I need to
You get to
share
hear him
my screen.
loud and clear. And oh my god, don't listen to that I just hit. Jeez.
Yep. Was that good? Did you hear?
Oh no, I closed my song for later. Oh well.
We'll go back.
Let me look out and I gotta do chat thingamajiggies real quick. Get all my things and stuff and ducks back in a row.
I'm gonna turn my camera.
Let's
on so I
go.
can- All right, there we go. All right, here we go.
Oh, they get to see you.
No, they do not.
Okay, I won't turn it on you then.
That's just for me.
Okay.
It's gonna help somehow. I don't know why. It
You
might.
don't know why. I mean, I was gonna share your lyrics so they could see them, but now they can see you if I
lyrics
do
are
that.
fine.
So
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me change. Yeah, let me make that a better. There we go.
oh,
All right.
I'm just saying, if
come
I
through?
share the screen, it's gonna share you too. Yes,
that
it
come
does.
It's gonna share me too. What?
I can't share just the. I share the whole.
Whatever. I don't care. Here we go.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys
Go
get to
ahead, you
see
hear- you
tiny
ready?
Splints, and you get to hear him sing. So yeah, go for it. We got it
All right. Here
turned
we
up.
go. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you could have it all. My empire burns. I will let you down. I will make you hurt. I wear this crown of thorns upon my life's chair, full of broken thoughts, cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time, the feelings disappear. You are someone else. I am still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. You could have it all. My empire built. I will let you down. I will make you hurt. If I could start again, a million miles away, would keep myself. I would find a way.
Thank you so much, Splins. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You did so good. I think everybody appreciated that song, especially Jeff Fafa in chat. He was like, yeah, I love this. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you guys donating. Oh my gosh, I gotta pull up the thing now and see where we're at. And like, y'all just donated $75. Crazy. Whew. Okay, let me log in here and see where we're at. I think it's like a bunch of scratch cards. I think that's where we're at. I gotta go look. I don't even have my own dashboard up. That's terrible. But yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we hit 325 was a scratch card, 350 is a scratch card. Oh my god, so I gotta scratch three of these nightmare cards off and do whatever the heck these 3 nightmares say tonight. Just say. Do I sound like an e-girl? Oh no. I mean, I'm more, I don't know, I'm kind of freaking out because I'm scared. These things always make me do really bad things. I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna take 5 here and see what my torturous devices are from St. Jude, what kind of torture are they gonna send my way? Let me grab some background noise real quick, because I feel like all I can hear is myself think, and I don't know if you guys like too much white noise is just like too much white noise and I need something. There we go, even if it's just quiet. There's something in the background. Alright, although I don't even think y'all can hear that. There, okay. Alright, anticipation! She scratched the first one off and it said drink water, so Mona was like, oh, this will be easy, right? It was drink water. It was hydrate. Alright, here we go. First round of punishment. Call a friend and tell a joke? Oh my god, so we're gonna like physically call somebody and tell a joke? I like while I'm live, so I gotta call somebody that's probably not going to voice chat doesn't count. Skadoodle, hope you're on later. Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Thor. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope so too. I'll catch you later, Jamie. Call me, I'll answer. Yes. You did this to yourself? I know. I should call a friend. You did give me an idea though. Let's see who is going to be like my victim. I'm gonna look at my list. It'd be fun if it was somebody not here. Okay. I got one. Alright, let's see if they answer. It's somebody that's not here tonight. They're probably getting... They can't be asleep yet. Let's actually call them and see what happens. Okay, I'm calling. See what happens. They're probably not gonna answer. They probably think I butt dialed. I don't call people, so why would you answer? Oh, dang it. You can tell how much I'm loved. I'm gonna see how many people it takes me to call before somebody answers. Alright, we got one. Somebody's already gonna get mad though. I gotta be careful who I call. I don't want him to get mad at me. Crisis, thank you so much. Thank you for the tier 1 sub and 48 months. Thank you. Call Cody. I'll send you his number. Bye. He will get mad at me, Thor. He will be so mad. Crisis, do you like your sound effect when you jump in stream? No, you didn't get... Crisis is the one I tried calling, by the way. He refused to answer my call, but he's here in chat gifting us sub. I had a scratch card from St. Jude, and I scratched off call a friend. So I had to call a friend live, and you were the only one here that's not here. So I was like, I'm gonna call a mod. Why not? They did. I don't think Cody would answer. Okay, let's see. Dang it. There's some people I'm like, are they live? I don't want to call while they're live. Oh, jeez. I'm so nervous. I don't call people. Who uses the phone these days? Who calls people? Okay, we're gonna try another one. This one probably won't answer either. This one won't answer either. Nobody loves me. Denied. I see how it is. If there's some emergency, none of my friends are gonna pick up the phone. They're gonna be like, she bets on me. Who's next? Who next? Okay. Alright, here we go. Here's another one. How many calls does it take before somebody answers? I'm curious. Didn't work. We tried. I'm gonna cry. Nobody loves me. I know that you guys are here would answer if I called, but I'm trying not to call people that are here. You know what I mean? Trying to call people that aren't here so they'll actually pick it up. Okay, I gotta look in my voice chat and make sure this person isn't here. Ugh. They're all here. Okay, we'll try this one. They're probably asleep and gonna beat me. We're gonna call somebody in another country. I'm terrible. If I wake them up, if it'll let me. Let's find out. Number 4. Call Cup. I thought about it. He definitely won't answer. Dominoes or something. This is fun. Dang it. Okay, everybody's gonna be like, why are you calling, Mona? What's the emergency? I might. Cum doesn't like the phone. Who does? Alright. Oh my gosh! Okay, that's it. I'm gonna cheat. Let's see. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna call somebody else. Let's see. One of you is the lucky winner. Let's see. See who picks it up. It's one of you guys. So check your phones. It's one of you guys. Now you guys aren't even gonna pick up the phone to talk. I tell you. Nobody wants to be on stream. Let's see. All right, one more.
What you want?
It's Momo! I cheated, I told you. That was like number 7. Can you believe that? You know,
What's your order?
I would like, I almost called you, Crowley. I almost called you, but I didn't know if you were like asleep for work or something. Oh gosh, but yeah, I would like to order, some crab ragoon, some General Tso's chicken, and some, I don't know, chicken on a stick. How long will it be? How long does it take? Let's see if this is universal answer here. Universal.
Yeah, well, maybe 2 minutes, but the cost is gonna be a joke.
No, it's not a universal answer. Dang, I was looking for the universal answer. When you call the Chinese place and you place an order.
Oh,
Usually,
I don't know.
Here they say 10 minutes. It's like no matter which place you call, it's 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yes! Crowley got it! 10 minutes! 10 minutes! Yes, it takes 10 minutes for Chinese food. It'll be ready in 10 minutes. Yes.
10 minutes.
Yes. That's why it's great. It's ready and it's cooked and it's awesome. But yeah, I almost called you. I scratched one of these things and it said call a friend and I ended up calling Momo. Thank you so much, Momo. I'm gonna scratch the next card now.
Aren't you supposed to tell a joke? Or
Oh,
a joke?
I am supposed to tell a joke. This feels like a joke. Oh my gosh, let's tell a joke.
I'm waiting for my joke.
What? Oh no.
I was wondering this whole time, will she have a joke ready or is she
No, I totally didn't have a joke ready. I forgot about that part of the thing.
She's googling a joke. I can see you.
I'm peeking. Why don't skeletons fight each other?
Find or fight?
Fight. Why do skeletons not fight each other?
It will be rackety? I don't know.
They don't have guts.
Oh.
They have no guts. Okay, one more. Oh, come on. Why did the math book look sad?
Oh shit.
Why did the math book look sad?
I want to say something parenthesis, but it's probably wrong.
Definitely dad jokes.
Oh.
You got it?
He was feeling negative.
That's pretty good. Because he had too many problems. He had too many problems. That's why he's feeling sad.
He was what?
He has too many problems. That's why he's feeling sad. He's a math book. All right, thank you so much, Carly, for the next $25. Thank you. Guys, bye. We made it to $400, guys. $400. Thank you so much. We unlocked the other cosplay. Thank you. We unlocked Marin cosplay. All right, where's my scratchy thing? Now we gotta do more scratchy things. I probably sound so weird going, where's my scratchy thing? Okay. We got 2 more scratchy things to do, but thank you for unlocking the cosplay. That is so awesome. Yes. All right, wish me luck. That one was embarrassing. Everybody's probably messaging me now. Why did you call? Oh, I just butt dialed. I got Barbie girl queued up. Oh my gosh. Barbie girl, living in a Barbie world. It's fantastic. Life in plastic. Okay. Okay. This one says, play a game with socks on your hands for 5 minutes. Okay. Welcome in, Shane. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We knew you were gonna forget to think of a joke. Yes, they're totally in Discord waiting in queue to sing so you can hang out. Okay, so socks with hands is one, and I gotta scratch one more off. So let's see what the next one is before I have to do socks with hands on the game. Let's kind of do that with my paws. Have your favorite snack. Oh, it's snack time? Ooh. It says I can have a favorite snack. Ooh, I like snack time. So people are just saying, right now, Shane. Scratching things, yes. Popcorn, I love popcorn. I don't have any popcorn though. I have ice cream though. I definitely have some ice cream. I could have some ice cream and it would be so good. But yeah, I'm supposed to put socks on my hand and play a game real quick. Or gummies. I wish I had gummies. That is definitely on my fave, but I'm out. Let's see if we can multitask. Maybe I will play games with socks on my hands while the next person sings. Do you think I'm that coordinated? I might be. I think we can make this happen. I think we can make this happen. No. Let's multitask. We're going to add another layer of difficulty to this challenge. And yes, guys, since we did the cosplay reveal, should I do the cosplay stream tomorrow? Even if it's only like a 2-hour stream? Not tomorrow. Saturday. Sorry. I can't do it tomorrow. But maybe Saturday. Let me think about it a little bit more. But yeah. Don't listen to Thor. Doesn't have words. Sing Jessica? It doesn't have words? How can you do a song without words? You can acapella popcorn. Popcorn's a song. UK's Got Talent. Oh, nice. Great song though. Okay, alright. Let's move this over. And oh my gosh, what did I miss now? What? Splints. Okay. I have no words. Thank you, Splints. Thank you so much. We just reached our $500 goal, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is like amazing. I didn't know if we could reach this goal or not, and I'm so thankful that we did. Thank you. Yes, guys. Okay, I'm gonna cry. You guys are gonna make me cry now. But instead of no crying. Thank you. Hugs, loves. You guys make all this worth it. It was a long week, and I've been really tired, and I've been pushing myself. And you guys make it so worth it. It's so worth it to spend my extra energy at the end of the day with you guys. You guys are the best. I love you guys. Gotta let the dog out. Who let the dogs out? Oof. Who's gonna sing that song? It's preparation for hearing me sing. I cannot wait to hear you sing. I cannot wait now. I think your singing will go perfect with me doing gloves and playing Genshin. With socks on my hands, I mean. You'll do one more, Jeff? Okay, we're gonna have Splints. We're gonna have Shane. And we'll have Jeff. And then I'll go, and that might be the end of the night. We might be able to squeeze Parker, and we'll see how long it takes. We'll see how long it takes. It's only 9:20. We might be able to get 5 more songs in, but that might be it. ColourPop is the Darth Vader palette you need? Oh, that sounds so cool. Alright, I'm queuing up Genshin. Of course, it's gonna take a hot minute. And then I gotta go get a pair of socks. Alright. And then I'm gonna turn Genshin volume to 0 so it does not interfere with Splint's beautiful voice as he sings. We don't need that. We don't need that at all. So my face is completely covered up now in this mode. Let me pull my face down. Come on! It won't let me grab my face. There we go. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. But yeah. Here is I'm trying to figure the logistics out of this. I want to capture the game or the screen. Maybe? Yes, it was Kirby. It's Kirby! Alright. Okay. Gotta get you up. Gonna grab my socks, and then we're gonna grab Splints, and we're gonna do this. Alright. Da 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 da, wiggle it just a little bit. Okay. Found some socks. Some neon yellow socks. Some little neon yellow socks. So I got my socks. Don't run. Why? Oh, because you kissed? You kissed Crowley. How do they feel about that? How do they feel about the kiss from Michigan? 1 sock acquired. Okay. Now I'm going to do this. Actually, I'm gonna close this because I think this is gonna be better if I close this box. 1 less box. Grab Splints. I'm stealing him. You have been stolen.
I see.
So.
What song am I supposed to do? I thought we were doing a group song.
No, you're doing Barbie Girl. That's what I heard.
Oh, all by myself. Okay.
All by myself. Yeah, you're doing Barbie Girl while I play Genshin with socks on my hands.
While you play Genshin with socks. All right.
Yes. So I'm putting my other sock on, and I hope I can drive this stream because I gotta hit watch. Hold on, I gotta like move the mouse to hit watch.
Yeah.
And then make sure the volume's on this thing so I can hear. It is.
I'm gonna hit play.
Go ahead and hit play.
Wait, what? I don't hear anything. Oh, no.
There it goes.
Did you hear that? Yeah? You heard
Yep.
that? Okay.
Yep.
We're good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Hold on.
I don't know if I can get
I thought we were
Genshin
gonna
back
sing
up.
this as a group, but here we go.
Oh, I didn't know.
All right,
Wait,
here we go.
I mean, we can.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Ken. Do you want to go for a ride? Sure, Ken. Jump in. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic. It's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination. Life is your creation. Come on, Barbie. Let's go, Barbie. I'm a Barbie.
I can't now. I can't get to my game. It's actually the live one. It's the other one. Who are you talking to, Jeff? Y'all can't hear him?
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Life is plastic. It's fantastic. You can brush my hair and dress me everywhere. I can't even.
I had no idea the words were this bad. All right, come on, Barbie, let's go party. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Barbie, let's get party.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
I can't even.
Come on, you gotta do it. Say the words. Say the words and stuff.
The words are so bad.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
I have never really listened to the words, and oh my god, no.
There was a song I was gonna do that was kind of like that, and then it started saying the words, and I was like, oh no, not picking that one, not picking that one. I don't remember what it was. I'll have to tell you guys, but I was like
See,
really
that's why I
shocked
trust
when
it
I
as a
actually
group
read the
thing, 'cause
words.
I thought, like, we could all, like, marginalize it out. No, it's bad. What the hell? You can undress me everywhere.
You
Like,
can undress me everywhere. It's really bad. It's funny though. It's so funny.
come on, Barbie, let's go, Barbie.
Place the great song.
That's
Oh
terrible.
gosh. Higher.
That's
5
so
meters
terrible.
higher.
I had no idea.
I think I just
Literally,
forward.
I had no idea.
Do we
I just
wanna do
remember
this?
it, like, in middle school dances, like, they would always play it. So I was like, oh, it must be an okay song, like, whatever. It's fine.
It's not okay.
No, it's fun. It's terrible. Are you still doing the sock fight thing?
Yes. And I have 2 more scratches to go, thanks to you.
What did I do?
Mm-hmm.
Because I sang a song. Now you get to
Man.
scratch 2 more.
Yes, the final 2. The final
It's the
2.
Final countdown.
For the kids, yes. And I want to place this song, but I think it's actually musical, so I don't want to place this song. They are no. Yeah, they're clean. Just kidding.
Fresh.
Sniff check. They are clean.
Everybody in chat's thinking the same thing. They're like, damn, were those yesterday's socks or what?
Oh no, that would be bad. Okay, I'm gonna walk away because I don't want to. I think
Just
this
walk away.
part of the game is actually like plays music or something because it's about placing a song. So I actually want to listen to it with the sound. So we're just gonna walk away.
All right, fair enough.
Jump.
See ya.
Try to fly with socks on my hands. Not too bad. Has it been 5 minutes yet? Okay, really gotta do homework. Okay, artist, thank you for the lurk. Much appreciated. I don't think I could. I don't think I can fight anything. Should I try to fight something? Alright, we're gonna go fight this monster. Can I run fast? Ooh, I kinda can. I hit the button with my peeky. I didn't get like the thick socks. I kinda cheated and got like the thinner socks. Oh, he jumped. Splints jumped. Do they not fight you when you just stand here? I guess they're not bad snakes. Until you attack. When snakes attack. So if I go 3, and I do the umbrella thing, and then I do this, now they're gonna attack me, right? And then I can do this, so they can get double. And yes, I still have socks on. And where's the other one? Over there. So let's rotate over here. Throw that. And then, click to shoot. My bow. We killed it! Mysterious meat. We got mysterious meat. Okay, I think my 5 minutes are up. Normal animals, not enemies. Yeah. They're so cute. I always steer away from them, though, because I'm always scared of them. Now it's good to know that they're not, enemies. Okay. Alright. Socks can come off. It's been 5 minutes. We can get Shane in here to do a song. And I can do a scratcher, too, real quick. Let's scratch this real quick. One more. We got 2 more, actually. I'm scared to see what they are, though. I really am. It says... plan a day off. Okay. I'll do that. I'm gonna take a vacation. So yeah. I think I earned it, guys. Do you think I earned it? I just, you know, met my stream goal for St. Jude's. Hands smell like Mono's feet now. Making me sniff my hands. I think I earned a vacation. It says plan a day off. I like that. Plan a day off. I'm cool with that. I might take a day off. Hell yeah, you earned it, right? I'm gonna take a day off, yeah. And then I might go get some barbecue or something, right? Plan a community game night. Aw, that's awesome. Okay, we can totally do that. I'm gonna plan a day off, and then I'm gonna plan a community game night, and I will let you guys know when. I'm good at doing community game nights. They were nice to me on the last 2 scratches. They were nice to me. Yeah. Alright, let me go grab Shane and get him in here. And then get his song up and going and get him. I hope he's ready. I hope he's ready. I'm gonna steal him. If I can steal him. Hi Shane, welcome. Welcome. Let's see. Go check a thing real quick. And pop this chat out. Are you singing a cappella or are you streaming music?
I'll try to stream music.
It's totally up to you. And then, do you want your face visible or no?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
I don't think my face has been visible on stream before, has it?
Oh, y'all got a face reveal of Shane tonight, guys. You hear that? Face reveal. Going to bed early, Lurk. Okay, good night, Turtle. Get some sleep. You deserve a day off to get your nails done and eat barbecue, by the way. Yes! Sounds like a plan. I'm coming over, Lemon. We're gonna go get our nails done and eat some barbecue. What does that sound like? Shane, you joining us? Does that sound like fun? Well, I mean, not the nails part, maybe, but, you know, pedicure would be nice, and or at least the barbecue part, right? But yeah, get some sleep, Turtle. Get some sleep. Okay, I have it up. Let me make sure I got the volume up all the way. Alright. I think you have the floor and we are ready to go if you are.
Does my mic sound okay?
Your mic sounds good. I would maybe test the volume on your stream real quick. Like a quick little boop.
Let's see here.
Oh, okay. I'm glad we did that. Okay. That was really loud. He's never posted pics of his face before in Discord? No, he has. Oh yeah, we've seen pics of his face in Discord. Yeah.
Just not on stream.
Not on stream though. So you guys get to see Shane on stream. All right, here we go. Here's Shane, guys. Here's Shane. Oh nope, that's not Shane. That is Genshin. Hold on. Now we have Shane. All right. And my big head in the way of the song. So, there.
Constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I bid farewell to Carolina, the place where I was born and raised. For 6 long years I've been in trouble. No pleasure here on earth I found. Oh, in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now. It's fairly well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again. Oh, I'm down to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon this train. You can bury me in some deep valley, yeah, for many years, where I may lay. Then you may learn to love another. While I am sleeping in my grave. Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you'll never see no more.
there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Shane, you did so good. You did so good. You sounded great. All right, chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
You got to the famous Shane reveal live on stream. I think this is the first time we've got to see your face. So this is awesome. Thank you. You did so good. Go Shane.
Hopefully my voice didn't cut out too much on the long stretches, because I think my mic's prone to do that.
It didn't really cut out this time. I think it did it one time, but it didn't really. I didn't notice it cutting out. So did good.
Nice.
As soon as I got the song balance to your voice, because at first the music's super loud, but then I was able to get it right, and it sounded good.
Thank you. I picked that because I like that song, but also it fits my southern accent fairly well.
Definitely got to emphasize the southern accent. Taking advantage of those aspects, right? Not everybody has that, so. But yeah, all right. I think Crowley's up. I think it's Crowley's turn.
Nice.
All right. Thank you so much, Shane. Thank you. Much appreciated. Another great song by Shane, guys. Oh, I think Discord just booted me for a second. Discord hates me, I swear. That or Rain booted me. Somebody booted me. Discord said, get out of here. Like, okay, Discord. Okay. Okay, alright, let's get Crowley in here. Crowley, they have an awesome song for us. Let's go. Hi. Hello. Welcome to the live stream.
I got stolen. Hello.
I swiped you. You're mine now.
Okay, I had to mute the stream tab that I had pulled up because that was very echoey for a second. Hello.
Oh yeah, you're gonna double me, and not a good way.
It is wonderful.
Welcome, Nick Dothy. Thank you so much for the lyric. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to us sounding like a bunch of cats on a hot tin roof. Some of us sound really good, but when you get us all together, it sounds like a train wreck, and that's what we're here for. So welcome. Welcome. We have Crowley up next. Let me do this.
Am I after Mr. Crowley then? Jeffafa is asking.
That's a Lady Rain question, probably. Probably. I don't know who else was lined up. I forgot. I don't know. But yeah. Share your song with us, Crowley, and then we'll.
Okay.
Once you're ready.
Screen
sharing your
Screen sharing the thing.
YouTube thingamajiggy if you want.
Thingamajiggy. Whoop. There it is. Look at that.
And you don't mind it being on stream via camera? Yes or no?
Yeah, sure. I didn't mean to press play real quick.
Okay. So we're gonna put you live.
1 second.
What was the rain question? Who's next? That's what the rain question was, but yeah.
Okay.
All right, it
I just
sounds
pulled up
good.
the lyrics on the other screen just in case I forget them by chance.
Oh, I was gonna say usually people just stream the lyrics so everybody at home can sing along.
I tried finding one, but I couldn't find one.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Unfortunately, because this is a group did a cover of a song, and I don't know whether the lyrics to the cover are in the exact order as the original.
Oh, okay. I still didn't hear it. Too many people talking. Oh,
oh wait, what am I doing? I need a karaoke version. I am. Hang on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need the karaoke version so there's no words.
Okay. Okay. This will work? Question mark? Sure.
It's got question marks. That's a good sign, right?
All
Alright. Gonna make you live. Here we go. You're alive on camera. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong spot though. Here we go. Yeah.
I am live on camera. Ooh.
Yep.
Let me know when I'm good and then I'll play the thing.
You can start. You're good. Love this song.
There used to be a graying tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remained a drug that's the high and not the pill. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain, baby. To me, you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. I've been kissed by a rose on the grey. I've been kissed by a rose on the grey. I've been kissed by a rose on the grey. I've been kissed by a rose on the grey. There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. To me, you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. Compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. Now that your rose is in bloom, light hits the gloom on the gray. That's it.
See. Thank you so much. You did amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that song. That is like, gosh, I love that song so much. I wanted to sing it the whole time.
I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's see. But yeah, it's really good. Oh no, I got made twice. I've got like Inception going on here. But yeah.
Inception.
But yeah. Yeah, I added Thor and Splints to the board. If I missed your name on the board, please let me know, guys. Please let me know. I think I got everybody. I will definitely look at your incentives and contact you about your rewards. And thank you all so much for donating. I think Jeff is next. And then I may go to. I may sing one more song before we do our like night and stuff too. But yeah, thank you, Crowley. Thank you for being here and thank you for singing. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You're wonderful. Thank you for the loves. Alright, we're gonna go kidnap Jeff real quick. Jeff, you have been stolen. Oh no, he wasn't ready.
Hey.
We swiped him and he was not ready. Poor Jeff. Do I need to come back? But yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are not ready, I can sing first. It's up to you.
No, I'm okay.
Okay. So hey, we got Jeff on camera? Oh my gosh. Y'all got a treat tonight. We're getting all the faces now. Why didn't we do this before? Okay. It's Jeff! A duet? I'm so excited.
Oh well, this song doesn't have any words.
Parker, you can go again too.
Okay, hold on. So Thor gave me an idea. He wanted to sing a song that didn't have any words. So I'm gonna play a song that doesn't have any words.
Oh, so you're gonna play an instrumental for us. I like that.
Yes, this song is called Little Martha. It was actually written by Duane Allman. He had a dream after Jimi Hendrix had passed away. He had a dream that he met him in the bathroom at a show, and Jimmy used the sink to show him this chord riff, and he woke up and he wrote this song down. And but I have to take this off. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
there. That's so terrible. But I'm sorry. That was.
No, you're fine. You did so good. You did so good.
It's yeah, that it's called Little Martha because actually it was tributed to it was a young girl that they had often visited in their hometown, a gravesite of a young girl that is, and then he named it kind of as an ode to her, and they didn't know her, but it was just I think she was like 4 years old, and has passed away. So that was just
Aw.
kind of their ritual. They had always visited her whenever they went back home. But yeah, it's a very pretty song, and I did not do it as the justice that I'd like to have right there, but
Well, I mean, nerves are always a factor in your life as
That-
well,
yeah.
so let's be real.
That
But you
was
did great. I think it's the boys' turn. The guys are gonna do a duo. We got Michigan and Splints lined up, so that should be exciting as well. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We get to see you play your guitar and grace us with your presence. Alright, thank you. I hit the wrong button. I can't hit all the right buttons here. I'm trying to hit all the right buttons, and I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. But yeah, let me go grab the guys. Peep, peep, peep. They are ready. So we have the Michigan. Hello, Michigan. Welcome, welcome. You are live and you have been stolen.
Yes, and then I need my partner.
No, it's just you. I'm not gonna bring him over.
That would be
Just
sad
kidding.
because I can't do two parts.
Just kidding. Alright, I got
Did
your
you
partner.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we found your partner. He got swiped in the middle of his vocal practice.
La 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 la.
Yeah. I threatened to only make Mission go live by himself, just like I did you earlier, so...
Dude, I would have to sing two parts, and that would.
It would have been...
I already know how that goes with Barbie, but
Yeah, I know. I was. What?
Alright, you guys ready for this? You guys ready?
I'm
got it open.
as ready as I can.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna put you on camera.
Joe, you
got...
you joined the stream, right? So you can be on time, yeah?
Well, we don't have our cameras on because we
It's
are.
not the camera.
No, you guys just gotta sing together. That's all.
Yeah, okay.
But you've got the stream, yes.
Fine, I have to do it now too.
Oh
Here we go.
no.
Here we go. 3,
Ew.
2.
They say you're young and you don't know. You won't find out until you know.
Well, I don't know if that's true, 'cause you got me and baby I got you. Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
They say our love won't pay the rent before it's earned. Our money will all be spent.
Yes, that's so you would. Wow, I did not read that right. All of the things we got, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got flowers in the spring. I got you to wear my ring.
And when I'm sad, you are found. And if I'm scared, you'll always be around. Oh, and don't let them say your hair's too long, because I don't care. With you, I cannot go wrong.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or a mountain we can't climb. Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Bite my head. Alright. I got you to hold my hand.
I got you to understand.
I got you to walk with me.
I got you to talk with me.
I got you to kiss goodnight.
I got you to hold me tight.
I got you, I won't let go.
I got you. You love me fellowship.
Here we go. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
I got you.
Let's skip that. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Babe, babe, I got you.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
I hit the wrong button. I jumped out of the chat. Oh no! I meant to stop sharing the screen and I jumped out of this. I jumped out of the. Oh my god! I jumped out of the chat and hung up on them. I just so quiet. Oh, good streamer.
A couple of drunk dudes just being like, I got you.
No.
I got you, babe.
So I just had to jump in here and say, you guys did
Well,
so
that's
good,
kinda
and I accidentally hung
Trust
up
me,
on
I'm
you
on my
guys when I
shell,
went
like,
to say
as in,
goodbye.
I've been singing all day. No, I thought you just wanted us to be live and just be awkward.
No, you guys were so
Well,
good.
just
Thank
see
you.
the dark
Thank
of
you,
where
thank you. Yeah, I did. But all right. I think it's Parker's turn. Are you ready, Parker? Hmm. He's silent. He's silent. Hmm. Parker.
Okay, I've got another song I could sing.
I got one too, but
That's where you're the one we're talking to.
Your
name's Parker, right?
She's calling. She's totally. Get in there, Parker. Get in there. Don't make a show.
Oh no, get me back over there. Oh. Okay, now I'm in here. And there. I don't know how it's muted here. Not over there, but yeah, we're muted all over the place, so.
I couldn't hear you. You were muted.
I was like, Parker, you ready? I was probably muted the whole time I was in there talking. And they probably only heard me because they're watching my stream. This is such a technical thing. It's so crazy trying to balance all this.
No wonder we don't do it all that often. Like 3 times a year at most. I think I got a song that is going to surprise a bunch of people, but for all the good reasons. So I gotta figure this.
I had somebody like, you okay? Because of me dialing and calling earlier. And then somebody's like, I was in the bathroom. I'm getting all the excuses now of why they didn't pick up the phone earlier.
I'm glad you don't have my number.
They're like, I was doing this or I was doing that. I'm getting all the excuses of why my friends didn't pick up the phone. I'm just happy to look.
You want me to put my song up now, or do you want me to do it later?
No, I want you to do it now. Go ahead and share your your screen and
Okay.
get ready.
I'm sorry, but I gotta. I was having so much fun talking, I lost contact.
Let's see.
It's
Then
the the song is dedicated to all us Southerners, especially me and Shane.
aw. Alright, got some southern music. You're live, you got the floor.
Grandfather loved this song. $1 or two. You roll around the bend and you come back again. We're good old Double Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it a Double Mountain Dew. And they are few. I'll shut it in my mug and I'll fill up my jug with a good old Mountain Dew. Well, my Uncle Mark got off the shore. He measures about 4'2". But he thinks he's a giant when you give him a pint of that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it that good old Mountain Dew. And they are few. I'll shut up my mug when you fill up my jug with a good old Mountain Dew. Well, my old angel got new perfume.
Dash Ketchum Gaming shared. X5.
But to her surprise, when she had that light, there was nothing but good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it good old Mountain Dew, and they are few. I'll shut up my mug and you fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew. See the visuals? I can tell these are from an old karaoke machine. Hope Shane, you're enjoying this. I'm trying to do better than you, but failing. Well, my brother Bill got still on the hill where he run off a gallon or two. The buzzers in the sky just so drunk they can't fly from blowing a good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it the good old Mountain Dew. And they are few. I'll shut up my mug, fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew. I'll shut up my mug, fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew. Man. Thank you, everybody. I got to take a breather for a minute and then let the song stop. And then that is a song some of you have probably never heard before. It's one of my grandfather's favorite songs. It's called, you guys probably know what it's called. It's called Mountain Dew. This will be my last song for the night because I have a boat to run out in the morning. So thank you very much. Before we forget, do you know what the group song is? Okay, because none of the rest of us don't know. It's just me and you in here right now. Momo didn't know either. Momo didn't know either. Just ask her. Okay. 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 I was just trying to cover up some bases.
No! Why was I muted the whole... Was I muted the whole time? Or just in this channel? I wonder if I'm muted in different channels. Thank you for letting me know. But I know audio, we can't hear you, so I was muted the whole time. This is the only disadvantage about muting and unmuting yourself between every singer, is that you miss one of them, because I have to mute it in 2 places each time. So, but yeah. See how you've taken advantage of me again. Michigan, like, text too? But yeah, okay, you guys are either gonna like me or not like me for this song. I'm gonna straight up tell you that, so you can laugh if you like, and then we'll be in I'll join you guys. Hold on, okay. Let's do this. I'm chickening out. Don't chicken out, Mona. Don't chicken out. I hope it's loud enough, so yeah, should be. Alright, here goes. Get your hype chat spams ready, or your riot. It's probably gonna be riot. There you go. Now you can spam all the riots. I'm gonna do it for myself and for you guys. Here it goes. You know it. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, you can hear me. Strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. This should be all of us, right? Done it too busy laughing to actually read the words. Give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna turn around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie, hurt you. We've known each other for so long, your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to stay. Inside we both know what's going on. We know the game, and we're gonna play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. Never gonna give you up, never gonna get you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna turn around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Way to Rickroll the entire stream, Mono. Right, you Rickroll, Mono! Never gonna never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give. We've known each other for so long, your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. We know the game, and we're gonna play it. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna turn around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. How many times does it do this? Is it the end? I was like, oh my god, is this the course like 500 times? I don't think I've ever watched the thing all the way to the end, so you won't? No, I'm here. I've been streaming for over 5 years now. I haven't run away yet. I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the Rickroll. I had to. Ah, don't do that. Stream things stuff. There we go. Okay. Alright, so, Rain, you're in charge. What's happening next? What's happening? What are we doing? Tell me. Are we doing the group thing now? She probably can't even hear me. So, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna join you guys. In the Chaos Land I go! I dive deep into the land of chaos.
Yes,
No, because you guys keep talking.
I was trying to. Oh, sorry.
Welcome!
I can't hear shit.
I know, poor Rain.
Well, because she's
Poor
not
Rain.
in. You don't have your stream up. It's her fault.
I have her stream up, but I'm listening to Moto and then this.
Well, you can use. That's the whole thing about me.
So,
Never gonna let you go.
down, never gonna turn around and desert you.
That was good, Mono.
Did you guys flip when I did that? I bet Shane did. Shane probably rolled his eyes. Shane, did you roll your eyes?
Singing along.
Not mad.
I love that song.
I'm just
Good.
tired. I meant some words. Okay, so I think we had agreed on
Yeah.
Yuri Rhythmics as the outro.
Oh, yeah,
What?
yeah.
Who? I never
Yeah,
heard that.
Yuri Rhythmics, Sweet Dreams.
Oh,
Sweet
Sweet
Dreams.
Dreams.
Sweet
Okay, yeah, that is.
dreams are made of
Made of these,
Yeah.
everybody's looking for something.
By group song, do you mean that?
I
we're all
unfortunately
singing
have
it
to
at
Yeah,
the
go.
same
we're all
time?
singing the outro. Let's go.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
gonna
or
be
closing
utter
time would have been
chaos.
better.
Okay.
I have a puppy in my
Close
hand.
Obviously, weren't here for "We Are the World."
We are the
Verdi
world.
That was
for the
chaos.
world.
We are the children.
We are.
We are the world.
We
Guys,
are.
I unfortunately have to go.
We'll take care
Gotta
of
call
it.
it a
Catch you
night.
later. Thank you.
Wish I could stay, but I can't.
No
Good
worries,
night.
no worries. Thank you for singing.
They're like,
with
I'm
us.
all for the children, but I
No
can't
problem.
listen to that.
Best of luck on your donation.
We are the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, gotta get all my stuff switched around.
Made of these.
Oh, gun show.
Okay. Alright.
Trying to get the height.
Muscles.
Oh, yeah.
Travel the
Mwah.
You've been working out.
Muscles.
Meaty muscles. Look at them. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's
Roar at the end there.
Those are some guns.
It's feeling a lot like.
Kitty!
Hey,
Oh
Morty,
my
look at
gosh.
me.
Tex has got a big kitty on screen.
Whoa.
He's got a big kitty.
He
I
does.
won't
Oh my gosh.
tell what my mind thought.
No, my brain doesn't work, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything.
My
Sorry,
brain.
Sonny, you can't swing Rhythmic with us. Sorry, buddy.
Tell a
Uh,
lie and hurt you.
That's gonna be stuck in my
Can't go
head.
that way.
Never gonna give you up. Never
I mean, it
gonna
could have
let
been
you
the
go.
song that never ends, and I could have just kept
You
singing
know,
that.
God.
That's the Sheffield,
We can do the
right?
song.
You just have to
Got
sing
any
forever.
grapes?
No, let's just not
Waddle,
do
waddle.
that.
You
But
covered me in hair, woman.
sweet dreams are.
Okay, let's do
made
Sweet
of
Dreams. Yeah, let's do it.
these.
Oh, I'm warming up my shoulder.
Everybody's
Oh, boy.
looking for something.
There you go.
What, am I gonna have to
Let's see.
deafen myself in order not to like?
Laugh.
No, you have to sing along and enjoy the chaos.
Enjoy it.
Welcome to the chaos
What we're
that is.
Hey, if you don't
Karaoke.
sing, then
In
who
your
are
This
kitty.
is
you?
not enjoy the silence. This is enjoy the chaos.
I never
Oh, I
sing
know.
in my life,
I'm
so
just gonna play Borky Catch.
Hulk and then what? Sorry.
I'ma battle you.
Oh, here's
There it
the
is.
tempting.
No
No,
idea.
no, let's do it. Hold on, we have to be prepared.
Sweet dreams.
Let me make sure I actually have the volume up on it. Okay.
Everybody,
Can't see it.
Maybe even try.
we have practiced this sound for a
Maybe
solid
even
month.
try.
Maybe even try.
Okay, well, come on, it's up to
Why
you.
can't I see it?
All
do it.
right.
Here we go.
Chaos. It ensues.
We don't
I
have
can't
chaos.
see it.
You can't
Are you
see it even though I shared
screen
it? Yeah.
No, you
You can
shared
see
it.
it.
No,
If
no,
they can't see it, it's
Wait,
their
let
own
me-
fault.
yeah, it's
I
their
can
own
see
fault.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
You should be
Even
able
here,
to see it
if you're here, you're singing.
Where is
If you
it?
don't see,
Come on,
I'm
come on.
in
This is
Discord.
dead, man.
Yeah, I know, but it's popping up for me.
gonna call
Weird.
Becky
Have to
right
sing
now.
like this, then really close to the
Maybe
microphone
jump
when
out
you
and jump
record.
back in.
And I'm
I just
here
did.
really
I'll just-
deep.
All right, let's. Okay, hold on. Let's
Lock them doors and turn
This
them
still didn't do it.
away.
let's all be on the same team.
Really?
Let's go.
Can you see it now, Momo?
Fox
No, I
Turner, lights
can't.
down,
But it's
really?
fine. Just,
Here, hold on. Try again.
I don't want to stop turning.
I'll do it a different
I
way.
don't know
Don't
Is
ever
it something I could have
wanna
done
hurt
myself? Why I
you.
can't? Oh, I heard something, but that wasn't someone else's.
No,
Maybe
no,
it's because you're.
you have to
Give you
play
up.
it first
I
so
don't
you
wanna
can
I
hear
let
it.
used to sing that song a lot.
Already did.
Can you play it a little bit? See if she can hear it.
Mhm. Oh, you can't because I got it muted again.
Mhm.
Don't.
Doink, doink,
It
doink,
says
doink,
live.
doink.
I just can't. Oh,
No, hold on. Yeah, she can't right now. Hold on.
Did
why
you
didn't
get
it
it?
automatically show me?
There it is.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
I can hear him.
I was ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, this is
everybody's
awesome.
in,
This is gonna be
everybody's
awesome.
ready. All right.
I might just dance and not sing.
Oh, I'm gonna dance and sing. I'm gonna do my moves.
Do whatever you do. If that's how you do how you do.
Oh my
Becky's asleep.
gosh.
She's
Do how
up
you
in-
do.
up in 2 hours.
Just do the
Think
moves.
that you do.
Just do the moves.
Right?
I
Oh
will sing like this
boy.
if that's fine.
Forgive me,
No, just do the
chat,
moves.
for everything that's about to happen.
Well, hold on, let's all pause ourselves. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Compose.
Everybody get their voices warmed up. Drink some milk. I don't know if that makes any sense. But...
All right.
Do re mi fa.
I miss
Right,
Roast
sorry.
and Thor's goodbye. I'm guessing they went to sleep. But alright,
Sweet
let's
dreams.
go.
Prepare your ears for this utter delight.
For this legendary performance.
Sweet dreams are made of this by Mono
Sweet
and her followers.
Mono and her chorus of cats on a hot tin
Yeah,
roof.
I like that.
Where you hired us off the
That's what my stream says, a hot tin roof.
I thought it was made of these.
No, it's
He's
this.
nuts.
It's just the way they pronounce it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I had to turn.
Now we're gonna find out. Let's
Let's
go.
do this. Let's go.
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Oh God.
Are you ready for this?
Is there no highlight? It's not highlighting it. No.
It's not started yet. It's fine. It's coming out.
Oh, there's sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused.
My bad. I was on the Marilyn Manson vocalization.
Little Marilyn Manson there. Nice. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I've traveled the world and the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Hold your head up. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Hold your head up. It sounds perfect. Love it.
It's all in sync.
Here it comes again, guys. 3, 2, 1, go.
Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused.
Moving on. Moving on.
That actually sounds really cool. I like the way it comes out, even if it's all over the place. It sounds really cool. I like it.
like Lady. It sounds very beautiful.
There we go. Get closer.
All of it.
Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something.
No.
You guys are perfect. Thank you.
And now the bar is closed.
Yeah, we're kicked out. That's for sure.
We had to roll, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
We will never ever have a
I
Komodo
love
party
that
here again.
text. Text puts in chat. The Komodo bands are available for booking as of now. Christenings, weddings, and birthdays.
That's all. Yep.
So here's how it goes. You ain't gotta go
So-
home, but you gotta get the out of here.
Oh, do we want to do it? Do we want to do it?
Yeah,
Do we
it's
wanna do
closing
one
time.
more?
It is closing
It's
time.
closing
Time.
and I don't
One
wanna
thing
hurt you.
about
Okay.
words.
All right. Closing time. Let's find it. Okay, lyrics. Closing time.
Oh my god, I'll stay through one without.
Closing time. One,
You
one
gotta
more
can't
call for-
stay here, but you can. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
No way,
Give me a rhyme with a tippity time. Everybody needs to learn how to
It's
rhyme.
a bar song, like everybody goes home bar
As a
song.
bartender, not a bartender,
Yeah,
as a
just don't
bouncer,
know it.
but yeah, it's like the same thing.
Closing time.
Why can't I find it?
Let it go.
We're not frozen yet.
She wants to sing
It's closing.
Who need to go home?
All
There we go.
of me.
Find a fucking Lee.
Find a fucking Lee.
Well, it's not the right
Apparently,
song.
it's by Red Peters.
Yeah. And this version's not 18 plus. I mean, this version's definitely 18 plus because it's like.
I don't know. Is your stream 18 plus?
Tippity tap.
Yeah,
Tippity
it
tap.
is.
Tippity tap.
Alright, then we
Tippity
should be
tap.
alright.
Had to wait all stream for it to count down XD.
Losing
Thank you so much for the prime
Get
sub,
the fuck
Momo.
out.
Thank you for the sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
This is not the
To
song.
wait for the whole stream for it to roll over.
Yeah, I was like, one more day. Your subs lasting one more
Closing
day. Like, fuck
song.
off.
Get the fuck out.
Alright, guys.
This is not the song we wanted, but I guess we can do it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's close enough.
Never ends.
Get the
yo,
fuck out.
God. We do that, we'll be here all night. We can't do that. We gotta do closing time.
Well, this is not the proper song, but yeah.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Get the
I don't
fuck
know
out.
where the proper one is. I
Oh,
couldn't
it's
find
closing
it.
time. No, this is not the song.
The actual
This
song
isn't?
is closing time.
No.
Oh. So this is the wrong song.
This
Yeah.
one's it's close enough, but
Well,
no, we're
he's
gonna-
he's trying to.
Ooh, details.
Oh, hold on.
Like,
Splints
oh,
gave
no.
you $100.
get some details.
There's
Well,
nothing there but Kimono Cat. We're all good.
Luckily, that we're the only ones seeing it.
No
It's
stream.
Anyways.
closing time. And I
Anyway,
don't
Splint
know.
said, "Call me later." What the hell, Splints?
Which one is it? Ugh.
Closing. Hold on.
You're on the wrong tab.
How am I? Oh, I am on the wrong tab.
Yeah, yeah.
How is
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Looking at Tiltify.
I mean,
I told Splints not to say that, but he did.
It's
Okay.
something else.
That's what we were saying about getting the details.
I know. I'm just
No,
like,
it's by Sem. Yeah, it's by right there. It's.
I forgot I
the-
pulled the tab off so that I can show it on stream, and when I pulled it away, I pulled away the one you guys were watching.
But it is by closing time. The blue
Because it's a group song, if I do 5 squats, does that mean everyone has to do them?
That would be easy.
You know the art when you speak the art.
But anyways, kimono.
Chair
is
squats.
the one with the blue.
The red? This
Or
one?
that one too. Either or.
It's closing time.
Let's find out which one does the pretty.
This will be fun. 'Cause
Text
I don't know if I know
highlighting.
this song.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's a good
easy
song.
enough
I like
that
it.
you'll pick it up.
Yeah,
Why
you'll
do we
pick it
got
up very
Tic
quickly.
Tacs.
Tic Tacs.
We don't
Tic-tac.
need Tic Tacs.
Does your breath think? Well, come to kimonos.
And have a tic tac.
5 squats has been redeemed. Nico, Sixer. Thank you. Sixer, we made our goal. I'm sure you saw.
Yeah, up to
We all did
Splints
the
did a
squats.
very good job.
Yep, totally.
All right, we gotta do squats. 5 squats, guys. You heard the man.
Actually,
I'm going to go to the bathroom. Oh, I can't do it.
that'll
right
be
now.
him squatting.
Sorry, dude.
can't.
You're gonna squat in the bathroom? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah,
5
5
squats.
times. I'm gonna do it 5 times.
It's gonna
So
break your
Nico
Nico
knees.
kneecaps.
Nico kneecaps.
Talk about that because I've got a knee operation in less than a month.
Oh no.
Okay.
There.
Calm down,
You
Molly.
may not want to be doing squats like
5,
right
4,
It's not-
3,
just
2,
before.
1. And one more. Is those squeaky noises because your knees need oil?
Oil.
Covered in
Yeah,
cat
my
hair.
day.
Your knees need oiled.
I think that crack might have
Alright.
been me.
Let's go. Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna
I'm back,
I'm
sir.
gonna play it. Ready?
Do it.
Would
Would
you like to
come in my basement for
Closing.
Dear crowd.
Oh, everybody get their voices going.
Oh, I gotta unmute it.
Well, your voice is too good. You don't have to warm your voice up. I have to. Yeah, I got it.
I'm waiting for the bird to
Sounded
to
like that
explode.
Michigan.
In the key of G minor.
It's better than our short
Are you gonna do what minor? What?
No. G minor.
Closing time. Open all the doors that you out into the world. Closing
We have to slow down.
time.
Turn all the lights over. One last pop for alcohol.
So finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know I want to take you home. I know who I want to take you home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home.
I only know this part.
Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you couple of dots.
And now.
Who's taking me home? Oh wait, I am home.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. You can't be taken home or taken home.
We are all home.
That's like someone putting the film to
Anybody have a guitar right now to plug in real quick? I've never played guitar in my life. I don't know.
Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be found. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me Closing time. Every beginning from some other beginning. So sad.
But it's time
Oh,
to
Brig
go
I
home.
see ya. That's
I only know this song from Supernatural.
Sugar, do you like my guitar?
I have
I
never.
don't. I was not looking at you.
Did you not go home?
I'm playing the guitar for you.
I thought I wanted to
I
ride
mean, I
home.
think we are home. I'm so confused.
I wanted to ride. Hold on. I wanted to ride home, but nobody gave me a ride home, so I'm just closing time. I'm sitting outside the bar.
Forward that.
I'll have to show you guys the song that I was talking about off stream.
Yeah. Well, she's probably closing. Closing.
Closing time. Yeah, I need to like do things and stuff and push buttons, but
Do it.
thank you all out there lurking and listening. Thank you for joining the stream today. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for shout outs, retweets, all that stuff. Anything you have done to help contribute to this fundraiser and helping us make it what it is. Oh, I gotta push other buttons. I can't find my buttons I need to push. They're here somewhere. There they are. I pushed them. Okay. But yeah. Thank you. All the loves, all the hugs, everything. Thank you so much. We unlocked 2 more streams. A mystery one for the 500. And for the 400, we unlocked Marin. So I'm so excited. Stay tuned for my schedule. I will let you guys know when I'm going live with those 2 other streams. Thank you 1,000 times over. Thank you, Momo. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. Again, goes out to the board. These beautiful faces who helped make this possible. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Much love. You guys are awesome. Love your faces. So with that, I'm gonna say goodnight. Good night, all. It's time. It's closing time. Catch you next time.
grab you something from the cafeteria?